Yesterday, for a good amount of the day, we were monitoring what we were kind of talking about as a strong tornado outbreak. Multiple tornadoes touched down yesterday, highlighting more of a higher risk than what was actually being issued, and it's not over. Today, not only watching yesterday, but we have a stronger risk of severe weather for today. Let's go ahead and get right into it. Now, hello everybody. My name is Christian, and welcome back to Skycast. Thanks for tuning in. We have a big day today. Let's go ahead and just get right into it. This video is likely going to be lessly edited just for the facts so that I can get this out. We do have a huge moderate risk stretching from portions of Texas into central Oklahoma, southeast Kansas, and southwest Missouri. An enhanced risk stretching all the way up to some of those places that were hit yesterday in like Nebraska and Iowa. Slight risk stretching anywhere from Colorado up into portions of Michigan down into Texas, and then just a big general thunderstorm risk. This tornado threat is going to be extremely wild. 15% tornado threat hatched risk where we're seeing the moderate. Wind 30% is where we're seeing that enhanced risk. Hail also a big concern. 45% possibility to see 3-4 inch hail, maybe even 5-inch hail in diameter. And I'm going to go ahead on a limb and say this. It's possible for this to go high with the way we're seeing that less of that morning convection. I would not be surprised if this goes high. This is a day you're going to have to make sure you're watching, a day you're going to have to make sure that you know what you're doing. I've said it so many times in prior risks, this is that day that you're going to need to make sure that you have a way to receive alerts, that you have that tornado plan in effect. And it's not just tornadoes. Tornadoes are going to possibly could be deadly, but we're also monitoring those wind gusts in excess of 50, 60, 70, 80 knots, miles an hour, hail in excess of 3, 4, 5 inches in diameter. If we go down to the summary, severe thunderstorms are likely today and tonight across the southern and central plains into the lower mid-Mississippi Valley. Missouri Valley, my bad. The most numerous / intense storms are expected from North Texas into Oklahoma, southeast Kansas, where strong tornadoes, very large hail of 2 to 3 inches in diameter, and damaging winds of 60 to 70 miles an hour are possible. A regional severe weather outbreak is expected from Texas across Oklahoma into Kansas. Strong tornadoes, very large hail, damaging winds, all a part of this long duration threat. Now, as we continue to move through the afternoon, as of now, it is about 12 Eastern Standard Time, about 1-2. We can see these storms start popping up in this general area. This are tornado producing right in this area, which is why we can see that tornado warning that just popped up right there northeast of Enid. But as we continue through, the main threat is going to be overnight hours into tonight. Okay, here we go. As we continue to move through, we can see storms 4 or 5 o'clock start popping up down here. HRRR in itself is remaining those to be somewhat discreet for the most part. 7, 8, 9 o'clock, you can see these storms start strengthening. By 10, 11, they move through the Oklahoma City area, and that's really the last one we have, but it's a very expansive line for the most part through this risk, anywhere from Bartsville down from there all the way down into portions of Texas, as well as these going to continue to move east to include more of this moderate risk area that we're seeing. Cape levels are off the chart, or convective energy in the air. This is able to help with tornado development and all that, and there is a lot. In some areas we're seeing almost 4,400, 4,500 Cape. This is a lot, to say the least. Move up here to some of these other areas. 3,600 down here towards Oklahoma City. 3,600, 3,700, 3,800. Almost 4,000 Cape levels, when, that's a lot for the least part. If we're looking at the supercell composite absolutely off the charts. This is the significant tornado parameter, and you can see some of these areas all the way up here into portions of the blue, all the way up here into portions of the pink. This is going to be a very wild event, to say the least, and you gotta have a way to receive alerts if you're in the area. I do want to go to a run prior, because Oklahoma City looking absolutely under the gun with some of this as well. You can see it in that pink area up here as well. If we're looking at NATOcast has issued a 60% tornado threat. This is the highest it goes. This is absolutely off the charts. This is for central western Oklahoma as well as all the way over into eastern Oklahoma. But besides those points, that 45%, that 30%, that 15%, that 10%, all possible to see that significant tornado probability of EF2 plus. And you can see some of these comments over here from other people. This is the craziest one I've ever seen. Never think that NATOcast has issued a 60% before. If we scroll down, don't think that they're ever seen a 60% hatched on NATOcast. This is not something, and NATOcast is experimental for the most part, so take this with a grain of salt. But keep this in mind. This is the highest risk NATOcast has ever issued in, like, ever, to say the least. So all in all, make sure you have a way to receive alerts. Make sure you guys are staying safe. Even if it doesn't go to a high risk that we're looking at, it's still going to be probably a deadly tornado outbreak. I will be live with this in the next couple hours whenever things do wind up popping off for the most part. So thank you guys so much for watching. Stay safe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.